belief in education and parents' rights, I see that Moms for Liberty is coming under attack by the left, attack by the corporate media, protests out here in the streets. Now you know how I feel everywhere I go. But I want to congratulate you for that, because that is a sign that we are winning this fight. And when I see events like they had in New York City where they're chanting some drag queen, "We are coming for your kids," let me tell you something. You start messing with our kids, we've got problems. And I think what we've seen across this country in recent years has awakened the most powerful political force in this country, Mama Bears, and they're ready to roll. And we've done so much on these issues in Florida, and I will do all this as the next president, but I see the issue not just through the lens of a governor or a presidential candidate. I see these issues through the lens of a dad, of a 6, a 5, and a 3-year-old. And my wife and I really believe that parents in this country should be able to send their kids to school, should be able to let them watch cartoons or just be kids without having some agenda shoved down their throat. And this has gone on across this country for far too long. 2024 is the time to put up or shut up. No more excuses about why we can't win against the left. No more excuses about why you didn't do what you said you would do. The time to act is now, and I believe if we do it right, 2024 is going to be the year when the parents across this country finally fight back. Now, it can be done, because I can tell you in Florida, we have shown what winning looks like. We have beat the left on issue after issue after issue, and we were able to deliver the greatest Republican electoral triumph in our state's history in November of 2022. This can happen nationally. We will win these battles all across the nation, and we will make sure that this country, not just the free state of Florida, but the entire United States, stands for the rights of parents and for the well-being of our children. Now, in Florida, we didn't just give lip service to this, because it's very easy to do that. People talk and then, you never see follow-up. We have enacted a Parents' Bill of Rights in the state of Florida because we understand that the purpose of our school systems are to support the communities, to support students and parents. It is not to supersede the rights of parents. Parents have a fundamental right to direct the education and upbringing of their children, and that means being involved in what is being taught in their school. It also means that every parent in this country should be able to have the wherewithal to send their kid to the school of their choice. We've made that a reality in Florida. We've signed universal education savings account legislation, so the money will follow the student and the parent. And you're in a situation where you can make intelligent decisions. And what we've done in Florida has worked, because it's not just the private scholarship to go to a private school. Yes, that's important. We have 363,000 students in charter schools. They're public schools. They're just not controlled by the school district. And because we've embraced choice, Florida's school districts now offer record number of choice options within the school district. So if you go to Miami-Dade County, our largest county, it's the top performing urban school district in America. You have the vast majority of students attend a school other than their neighborhood public school that they were zoned for. So that's empowering parents. It's creating healthy competition. And what are the results? As somebody that was born and raised and went to school in Florida, I can tell you this wasn't true when I was a kid. The most recent NAEP results, Florida ranked 3rd and 4th in the country in 4th grade reading and 4th grade math. And that's proof in the pudding. So parents should also, in the public schools, have the right to know what curriculum is being used in their kids' schools. And we have enacted curriculum transparency in the state of Florida, so parents are able, and it's sad that we even have to go this far, because shouldn't parents be involved anyways? Why would you not want the parents in? You know, most teachers will tell you if the parents engage, the student is going to do better. And sometimes it's harder to reach the students where they don't have interest from the parents at home. The only reason you would not want the parents involved and that you'd want to shut them off from knowing the curriculum is because you're worried that the parents represent an impediment to you using the schools to advance your agenda. That's why they don't want parents in. So we've done the curriculum transparency, and it's sad that it comes to this. But I guarantee you Florida's better than California, New York, all those by a country mile. Yet parents in Florida have had to blow the whistle on inappropriate materials in our schools. They have these books like Gender Queer, which has hardcore pornography, talks about pedophilia. You have a book in Florida that was found in one of the school districts instructing middle schoolers how to use sex apps on their phones. So this is totally inappropriate, and so parents blow the whistle, and obviously no one defends this stuff, and so it gets removed. Now, the left and the media tries to say that means you're banning books. Well, let me tell you something. In Florida, you can buy any of those books that you want, and there's not been a single book that's been banned. Schools, though, have to curate what's in a library or what's in a classroom, and you make decisions about that. You may have one book on George Washington. There's 50 others you could have. That doesn't mean you're banning the other 50. You're making a judgment about what's appropriate. And so to use tax dollars to bring in that type of garbage into our schools is fundamentally wrong, and it has no place. Now, we did an event in Florida. We called it Exposing the Book Ban Hoax. And before I spoke at the press conference, before we had the parents, Tia was at this one, we actually played on the screen a 3-minute video that showed what the parents had objected to. The news stations covering the press conference cut their feed because he said it was too graphic to air. Well, if it's too graphic for the 6 o'clock news, how is it appropriate for a 10-year-old school child? So we're standing for what's right. We're standing for what's right. We also have met our promises. You know, a lot of Republicans have promised over the years to eliminate Common Core. We did it in the state of Florida during my governorship. We're also rooting out so-called social emotional learning from our curriculum. And one of the things we've done, since we're the third largest state, we've been actively involved in rejecting textbooks that have ideological indoctrination. And unfortunately, you've seen woke in math books. Some of these social studies books were totally off their rocker. So we raise the objection, send them back. And guess what happens? Because we're an 800-pound gorilla, they make the appropriate changes to the textbooks. So we're winning on that issue. And that's one of the reasons we've been able to do it, is because we've taken action to be very clear on our standards that, among other things, we do not allow things like critical race theory in our K-12 schools. We're not teaching kids to hate our country.